Good afternoon, everyone. How is it going today? So, I am Banarasi Babu Tippa, AI and data engineering leader. But forgetting what I do at work, for this session, I would like to assume I am leading AI and data engineering at Heritage Bank. I also want you all assume whatever roles you are doing in the work, assume you are working at a Heritage Bank. I would like to make this a like journey together to build the data architecture ready for AI at Heritage Bank. Any questions? Let's do it, right? Thank you. So, first thing, see I want to do three-step process. First, set the stage, means what do we have right now at the bank, and then unpack the blueprint. So, how do we make it ready for the AI to be implemented in the future? May not be today, may not be tomorrow, but when we are ready from the business side and the regulatory side, risk side, everything. But how do we build the foundation? Then show the operational model. So, what do we do immediately next 30 days, 90 days, 1 year? Okay? I think right now everybody knows data. We have couple of data warehouses within the bank. I showed 2, but there are many. They are all in silos. Nothing is integrated. We also have unstructured data scattered around in SharePoint, shared drives, emails, OneDrive. Of course, there are other places it might be, but assume those are the places right now. So, we also have a content management system, which is very old, not the latest content management. I am hearing from everyone, we don't want to touch the legacy systems because we don't know what happens if we touch them, right? It's the same situation in here also. Okay? Before I move on further, I would like to gather some information. Can you put the first 3 questions one by one? I think if you go to the menti.com, you could join using your mobile. So, I will read out the question, which statement best matches where your core transaction sits today? Is it on premises RDBMS, cloud RDBMS, or data lake, or both? I think that's fantastic. We have mostly on premises, but we also have some cloud. Nice. Move on to the second question. So, what is on our critical path? See, before 2 years back, we were not paying much attention to the unstructured data, but with the age of ChatGPT, unstructured became the critical path. So, what is your critical path? Yeah, in the previous meeting we were talking, a couple of months ago Azure announced Copilot Studio. Of course, that is still there, but they are going to digitize all your data. Digitize means vectorize. Whatever comes under the Microsoft Graph, you will be able to, without doing any other further processing, you will be able to search using the vectorized semantic search, but it is still not there. So that's where most of our documents are lying. Okay, we'll move on to the next question, please. You want to take a stab at it? List what are your blockers for AI adoption. Regulation, data, what else? Integration, yes. I am still missing my favorite. No. So with agentic, see for machine learning or model building, data is crucial, I agree. But we are talking about AI implementation, AI adoption. What is more important than data? Metadata, isn't it? But still lot of very good, interesting stuff. Quality, trust, security, accuracy, yes. Legacy architecture. Yeah, health of data means quality. Unclear path to production. What is that number? Okay. Yeah, I think we can switch back to the slides, please. So what is data architecture? So identifying the data needs in the enterprise. Either it is structured or unstructured, and designing and maintaining the most blueprints to meet those needs. Means we want to see, let's say you want to build a house, or you are planning for a city planning. What are you going to do? You want to say these, here are the roads, here is what our zoning area means, commercial place, residential place. So you define the blueprint first before approving anything. That's the blueprint we want to make for the data as well. Next, we want to use those blueprints and guide the data integration, control, data assets. So if you look at the picture there, you have data sources, you have ingestion, and you have processing, storage, consumption. Everything is captured under governance and security. So what is the modern approach for this data architecture? So right sized storage and compute means why do we need cloud storage? Why can't on premises help us? Because the advantage of cloud storage right now is you could have a tiered storage, at the same time elastic. So you pay for what you use. You are using today only 1 terabyte, but tomorrow all of a sudden you grow 2 terabytes. If you are on premises, procuring it will take time. So you are limited by the resource acquisition. Whereas if you go to the cloud, you are elastic. Okay. Strategic agility. So, if you build a data contracts and you already built the highways and everything, so you just plug in the new tools coming in and quickly see whether they work or not, and if they are not working, you take a different approach. But if your data platform is not ready yet, you can't do that. You see, if you take any data science project or machine learning projects, 80% of the time what are we doing? We are trying to do the data cleaning, data preparation. So that's what we are going to do as part of the foundation of the data architecture. I think so. Then future proof blueprints. So here what I am trying to say is, how do you start all of this? You go with your business domains, select a domain and see what are your capabilities and identify the key data elements and key data objects. And from there you start building the data models. You might have already there, but they are not connected. They are not identified and put in the catalog. So they are siloed right now. So built-in business advantage. A streamlined approach, like you clearly define what needs to be done after you identify the domains. So for them, you define what do you need to do. You ingest, you store, you consume. You define those clear path lines. I think can you go to the next question on the Menti? If you could fund only one initiative in the next 12 months, which would you pick? Yes, that's my take as well. But the cloud migration is also very important, because once you go to the cloud, I think in the first talk, Nilay was talking about implementing AI is too costly. That is because the underlying data foundation is not there already, right? If the data foundation is there, let's say you are in one of the cloud, AWS or Azure. So then you just prototyping is easy, because your data is already there. You just create a service, OpenAI service or some other service, and you easily can build a prototype and test it out your idea. With the vibe coding, UI is also very easy right now. I think, yeah, thank you. So why data architecture matters? Anybody want to answer? Yes. So
core banking systems, when we are building the new generation, we don't want to repeat the same mistakes again.
yes. Anybody else? Correct. Better growth, lower risk, controlled spend. So, I think all of these are we already discussed. So, what are building blocks that make most of these benefits real? What do you think? So, if you want to get all these benefits, what do you think are required? I think next question please. How does your data integration workflow feels today? I think that number, I think once you connected it, you might already been connected. You don't need to yeah, but complex, clunky, disjointed, limited. Yeah, I think we can go back. So, I think we all agree the first one is data management and governance. So, these are the 5 foundations I think are necessary. So, the next one is data ingestion and storage. I think lot of places I saw it was not given enough value, seen enough value, where data ingestion and storage in my view are very crucial. And then analytics and ML machine learning enablement. What does that mean? So, as I was saying, for last 2 years unstructured data came into the focus, right. So, wherever it is possible you want to make unstructured data as also part of your lake house or data lake, and your crucial data as per your identification you might want to vectorize them and make them searchable, semantic searchable. So, that is what enablement means. You are just building the foundation of your unstructured data for future AI projects. Operational excellence means your data pipelines, you want to have automation, automated data pipelines. I think they are calling data ops recently. So, the next one is domain oriented ownership and data contracts. So, what is domain oriented ownership? Means you want to, when you, as I was saying, you want to identify KDEs, key data elements, and key KDOs, key data objects. So, you want to identify who is the data owner, who is the data steward for that particular domain, and they need to own the data. See, earlier business used to think technology is going to build my data warehouse, I am going to query the data, my data analyst is going to do something, but it is changing. Business want to own the data and they need to direct the technology, saying that these are my key data elements and anything changes it has to be approved by me. So, you know what is in your data, and because you are the one who is going to come up with the ideas, right. So, ideas can be only tested if your data is ready. I think I want to ask you a question here. So, imagine your team has an idea. How soon would you like it live? Yes, but practically how soon it can be possible today? 3 to 6 months. I think some places it is even not possible 3 to 6 months, right?
But ideally, if you have all the approvals,
Right. No, but I am not talking about, so what about testing itself at least? Not live, but you want to test your idea. Can you test it in weeks? I think that's where we want to be, at least by next year, right? Otherwise, we will be behind, in my view. Oh, I think before this, I think last question we have in Menti. Do we have one more question? Oh, okay, we are done. Okay. So, this is the blueprint for end-to-end data pipelines. So, if you look at this, you identified domain level data sources. So, they are being ingested, you are cleaning them, cleaning the data, and you also segregate two different types of data: structured data, batch processing, and streams processing, means real time data processing. So, once both are processed, you merge them and put into sinks. Sinks can be data warehouses, data marts, and it can be object stores like Mongo, Cosmos, right. All of them are in pipelines, standard pipelines. So, right now every application team or every team building their own pipelines, they are using their own custom solutions. One team might be using Informatica, one time might be building the custom ETL solutions, but it is a very good idea to standardize those, and at the same time, as I was talking, agentic framework or MCP integration requires some metadata. Right now, if you go and check your tables, you only have a column, cryptic column names sometimes. That is not standardized, right. So, also if you look at any database column, you have a description for the column as well, not only for the table. So, you want to add those descriptions for the columns and tables. That is the first thing, and then once you identify the KDEs and KDOs, you want to register them in your data catalog. Not all the data, but the data catalog, these important key elements and key objects, you want to register them in your data catalog, and any changes to them has to be approved by the data owner. So, you also want to have a schema management, in the sense any changes to the schema needs to be version controlled. You also want to have configuration management. So, all of them should be standardized. At the same time, you want to have a data observability, data monitoring. Anybody want to take a stab at what is observability versus monitoring? Basic.
Monitoring, basically you have to have a clear idea of how the data is transforming within systems, and the reconciliation of the content as well as the elements, the record counts are healthy, fit for purpose. Observability is more like at the higher level, and say at the dashboard level, and whether the system is stable.
Yeah, you are almost right. So, monitoring means you are having certain checks and balances. You say it is a red light or green light, but observability means once that happens, what is going to happen and why did that happen, and how do you prevent before it reaches the customer. Let's say your data pipeline broke. What is going to happen to the downstream systems? You are going to analyze that well before it reaches the downstream systems, and you are going to inform them our data pipeline broke and we are going to be delayed. You are going to delay receiving the data. So that's observability. Not only for data, I think even application observability, that is the concept. I think alerting, notification, and logging is common for everything. So on the underneath, you also have orchestration. Data orchestration means your ADF or Airflow will be orchestrating your pipelines, data pipelines, and scheduling and workflows. Right at the bottom of the layer, you will have infrastructure. It can be on premises or it can be cloud. Okay? Any questions?
Anybody got questions? Come around with the mic so we can hear you. Yeah. There you go.
So thanks for the lovely walkthrough. I just wanted to check from your knowledge, how mature is the industry in the downstream of this and having LLM and Gen AI use cases. So you say that cloud is important. The application and modeling on the data that is already on the cloud, would it be in-house models, and how much time would it take to use advanced predictive models on that data that is already on the cloud?
Thank you. I think the question is, if data is already on the cloud, how easy it is to build models, implement the models.
And the ones which are LLM and Gen AI, where customer data the banking industry has to share with those pre-trained models.
Right. I will take, without revealing the details, so definitely every bank has sensitive data and internal data and non-sensitive data. These kind of three segregations are there, right? Yeah. So, but when you go to Azure cloud, you are actually building your own VPNs. At the same time, for sensitive data or customer identifying, wherever your customer identification data is there, you are even controlling the data center itself or building the guardrails in the network level. So, but for that particular area, so if you take the OpenAI model within Azure, if you deploy that particular model into your sensitive network, you should be able to use it. That's how we are using it internally. So coming to your question, so as when that is confirmed, you can use it. But there are other problems like data protection questionnaires and regulatory issues. So that's why at this point in time, to my knowledge, we are not going for a complete automation, but we are going with the human in loop kind of solutions. So for example, we are working on something called invoice automation review. Means invoices come in, we currently manually review the invoices. So only way to see, I am in the legal space, so only way to know whether that particular line item is billed according to the billing guidelines is to read the description. But before OpenAI, we can't automate that. So the manually somebody has to read, and the description is saying that is according to the billing guidelines. Now I have OpenAI to categorize which billing guideline it is falling into, Once I know which category it is falling onto, I can build a machine learning model on top of it and say this is proper, this is what he can build, but I got this much bill, so there is a deviation.
Banarasi, what you got? Oh, yep, coming to you real quick. Time for one more. Got it. There you go.
I think one of the key challenges when you take the OpenAI models for your own business case or your enterprise needs.
I think I cannot.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So one of the problem with the OpenAI model, when you apply that to your enterprise data, is the hallucination, right? So when you started, what was the percentage of hallucination, and then where you are today, and also how are you, bringing it down to ideally wherever that you want it to be?
I think if I understood correctly, somehow it was not very clear, but you are asking about hallucination. How do you handle the hallucinations, right? So if you look at the OpenAI, you have a temperature setting where the model can go creative or grounded. So some of the applications where hallucination is not a problem, you could increase the temperature setting, but most of the where it affects, you want to keep it down. At the same time, you want to have their references. One another thing we did, there was a research done in ETH University in Zurich by one professor, I forgot his name, but he came up with the Likert analysis where the output produced by LLM, you ask LLM again to validate it on different dimensions. So it is going to give you its own validation score. Based on that score, you could say this might be hallucination. So that's how we are going to tag it. But it was done like a couple of months back, but we stopped that project. We put it on hold because the data protection questionnaire. So the data biases might appear, and it is on hold right now. That's why we are concentrating on building the foundations first. Once we cross this hurdle, then we are ready to take on any challenge.
Banarasi, thank you so much. We ran out of time, but I know more people have questions. Make sure you get your question over to Banarasi. Round of applause for Banarasi. Thank you so much.